My father, I loved him, so I will live with my sorrow. I will live my own life. I will defeat sorrow in his place. I will stand my ground and be strong. I don't know when it will be, but someday I will conquer it, and I will do it without false hope. That is a quote from Yuna, which I decided to start this out with. Kind of a depressing quote, but you know what? It's also a hopeful quote. So, yeah, so if you can't tell, I'm drawing Yuna from Final Fantasy X today. And 10 is a very, I like 10. 10's a good game. It's a game that definitely had to grow on me. But over time, I really learned to like it. Like the voice acting, yes, it's so cheesy. It can be real bad at times, but it can also have its good moments. Like I feel like the intro is really well acted. The laughing scene is, whether intentional or not, makes me die inside. But yeah, I do think it's a very interesting game, and one of my favorite characters from it, I wouldn't say my favorite, I think Lulu is probably my favorite. I really like Lulu. But one of my favorites, Yuna, I wanted to draw her. And so that is what I shall be doing for y'all today. So right now I'm still kind of in the sketching phases. And I'm just kind of, or at least, and I'd like to say, this one it took me a really long time to sketch, but the reason why is because I wanted to get all the details right. Like, before, I didn't do a ton of details in the sketches. Like, if you check on my Instagram, you'll see that I'll just do, like, kind of a overview of what I'm gonna do, but that always ends up looking wonky. So I was hoping that if I did all the details, I could figure out what went wrong early on and fix it before we got to the end, and it was too late. Now, sadly, I overlooked the eyes, which were cross-eyed by the end. So that is something that I'll need to look out for. The shines in the eyes, sadly, are positioned in a way that she looks like, well, not cross-eyed. She looks like she's looking two different directions. If you look closely. I mean, it's not super noticeable, but still. Something that I need to learn. And yeah, I think, well, I do really like this drawing, and I really like how I did the shading and everything. It was definitely a learning process, because I was still kind of figuring out how I did the hair. Like, for example, beforehand, I just did it like I did the rest of the body, where I just, like, I don't know, doodle it on, or I'd just, like, draw it on with a studio brush, or a studio ink brush, and I would just kind of hope for the best. Try and make it look relatively realistic, but not really. But I like how I did it here much better, and I learned this technique from Ross Draws, who makes an amazing comic, or comic-ish thing, called Nima, and he also does a lot of art videos, and I learned quite a lot from him. And while I draw very differently from him, I do very much so like how he did the hair, and so I wanted to figure out how to incorporate that into my style. So I took a round brush and went over the top with it and laid out the base for the hair, and then went around the outside, and while not necessarily doing the hair realistically, I added in little brushes so it looked more like a Disney hair. So it had individual hairs with the hairbrush, and but it still had its anime-esque look, which is what I was going for, because I quite like the anime-esque look. And so, oh, another thing that I would like to rant about. My iPad said no. It did not want to record. Now, I don't have a ton of space on my iPad, but it really didn't want to record. Like, it randomly just shut off and stopped recording and not tell me it stopped recording. And so I didn't get a lot of, and there was a lot of times that it'll just skip over, and some of that's my own editing choices, and some of that's because I just lost the footage because, geez, iPad, thanks. But, anyways, I do think that it's very, like, that might be why some of this is awkward and it might skip a lot towards the end. And the ending. The ending, how I did all the shading and the lighting and stuff, that was completely gone. That was just absolutely obliterated by my iPad. So, I mean, I will include the process, but it's not gonna, like, show me actually drawing it, because I do not have that video, and I'm going to have a talk with my iPad in order to see why it's being mad at me. A little heart to heart, if you will. But, anyways, yeah, this is very fun to do, and if you guys came from my Instagram, you'll probably notice that I don't do line art anymore, or at least I don't do line art how I used to. I still have like a little outline. I have little outlines that I go through just to like give it a little cartoonish look, but I don't have actual line art anymore, and the reason why is because 1, I did not like how it looked, 2, I did not like doing it, and 3, I usually didn't finish it because I hated it so much. So that's why I took a break for a while, because I just genuinely didn't know what I was doing there. I was just like, you know what, screw it. We out of here. And so, yeah, I do think that line art can look really cool. I just feel like I like doing the slimeless style better. It's more fun to do. Like, I'm having fun with it, actually. I think it looks better. It allows for more shading, more 3D lookish, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I don't know. I just kind of like how it is. Now, doing actual like landscapes and stuff is a lot harder. And I'm gonna have to figure that out, because I can't just go in individually with each shape anymore. It just is a lot harder with landscapes. So I might just use like a round brush to figure out where I'm going and then build up from there. I don't know, I'll try a landscape in one of my next videos. I think I've got a Splatoon one that I'm making right now. Get to see Marina if I actually finish it. Hopefully. I think I'm far enough along it that I'll finish it. But anyways, I think that it's very, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty important to figure out what you, oh, yep, there it is, there's some cutting. My iPad lost data. But something that I have noticed is that it's a lot more fun to draw when you're not limiting yourself to how you think you should draw. Like, I was thinking, oh, I'm a cartoonist. I should do cartoony outlines. But nay, I am not a cartoonist. I am an anime artist in disguise. Or at least kind of. And I just, or at least took a lot of influence from it, and also I just kind of thought line art would make it look better. But turns out, there are multiple ways to draw. You don't have to draw the way that other people draw. So I was like, hey, you know what sounds good? drawing. And so I did. And I tried this out with Tara. And I was like, you know what, that was pretty fun to do. Looks alright, let's improve upon it. And now I'm actually able to do shading, which is pretty dang great. And yeah, I do think that, like, part of me is like hoping that, part of me is scared because it's like kind of hard to figure out how it's gonna look until the end. But so far it's been turning out pretty okay, and I mean, like, if it doesn't, I just kind of start over, which isn't always the best, but if I figure out a better way to do it, then I will. But anyways, I've just been kind of doing a doodle lately, and yeah, just like, and just trying to figure out my art style. So this is the point where I feel like I'm rambling. And I feel like this is a good place to end the video, because I'm just thinking of things to say. Now I'm gonna come back 20 minutes later and be like, oh crap, I should have said more. But nay. Alright, so like and subscribe if you like what you see. And oh yeah, I'm gonna let y'all see. I will say there is one more thing I'm gonna say. I will let y'all see the process, and I'm not gonna talk over that. I'm just gonna add music, and sadly copyright free music that's just chilling here on iMovie. Yes, I am making this on iMovie. Be proud of me. But anyways, if you want to see some more stuff that I draw, then like and subscribe. Feel free to comment suggestions, because I would quite love to do that. And I usually draw stuff for video games, characters, but I'm willing to do more, or at least attempt more. If I really don't like how it's turning out and it doesn't show up, that's probably why. But I am definitely open to suggestions, and I think that would be a lot of fun. So anyways, like and subscribe, and thank you for coming to my channel friendly family.